11 of lesson 69, we're looking at the through swing. In the previous piece, I was at pains to point out that when you load the shoulder, instinctively the hips and legs win the race. But again, the body's clever. If you've pre-programmed a certain shot in your mind, being a low shot, a high shot, a draw or a fade, and you prepare for those, I believe that the hips and legs will have slightly different changes that are instinctive. So I think that if I was hitting a low shot, my leg action would be more active than if I was hitting a high shot. If I was hitting a fade shot, my legs would be slower than if I was hitting a draw shot, all things being equal. There's a lovely old phrase that I use occasionally. It's a bit archaic, a bit old-fashioned, but it's this one. It's necessity is the mother of invention. So, as human beings, we're very resourceful. If we have a need, we'll create something that fulfills that need. And the human body works like that. When you give it a task, it sets about improvising the task. And therefore, to me, improvisation is the best teacher. You know my style. I hardly ever teach the swing specifically. I believe if you give a child or any beginner or any golfer a great preparation and you show them how to hit the shot, that will lead them to the swing that we both wanted. So, if you play at Woburn, you're playing 3 lovely tree-lined courses. So I've got this old kit bag here full of rags and cloths. It's quite soft, but I'm going to just put it here on the ball target line. So if we imagine that is a sort of silver birch tree, what I don't want to do is to hit the ball into the tree and it come back and hit me. I'm going to work off a square stance, conventional stance, but I'm going to hit you a draw shot. In other words, I'm going to hit the ball to the right, anything between this imaginary tree trunk and the wall here, that corridor is where the ball is going to start. Okay? Now I'm not aiming right, I'm aiming down the white line. Okay? So, this is the first stage. I'm going to load the power and I'm going to send the ball to the right of the white line. Okay? Now, it's not a totally scientific statement to say that the swing sends the ball, but I still like it as a general guide. Okay? So I would say to you that I set up squarely, but my club came from the inside and the ball departed to the right. Now those of you that think that into-out creates draw spin, you're halfway there. It doesn't of itself. What into-out does is starts the ball to the right and encourages the club face to move across the ball. There needs to be a little bit of manipulation of the blade to get the draw spin that we ideally need. Okay, so I'm going to do that for you one more time. I'm going to coil and send the ball right at the imaginary tree. So I've got 2 nice consistent shots. And I wasn't thinking about my legs, but I know they behaved in a certain way. If I now add draw spin to the last 2 shots I hit, I know that my hips, legs and knees will behave differently. But again, it's not something that I make happen, it's something that happens instinctively. Okay, so square stance. I'm going to send the ball to the right, but with a bit of draw spin as well. You can see I start the ball down the right and brought the ball back. And I know that on the first shots my legs have been quiet, but as I got the draw spin, there was a change, lateral, down the line, more shift, and I was more creative. So you wouldn't expect to have the same feeling in your wrists, hands and forearms for every shot. Very different from wedge to driver. So why would you anticipate the leg action being the same for driver, 6-iron and wedge? They don't. The leg action instinctively changes with the use of club, but even more so when you change the choice of shot. So don't clone your legs into one piece of behaviour. Let your legs respond to the task. But as I keep on banging on about this, I'm saying to you that the legs behave as a reflex anticipation. It's very clever. The body changes. As you change the task and improvise the task, then you're changing the leg action in the most natural way. So on this one, I'm going to hit you a fade. So square stance, conventional setup. I'm going to start the ball left of the bag or the imaginary tree trunk. And you see the ball's just missed it on the left, and it's held its line. Had the draw spin, it held its line. It's only going to fade if I manipulate the face a little bit with the swing path. This is going to be a path fade rather than a face fade. So square stance, slightly out to in, but I'm going to impart a little bit of fade. Here we go. So you can see the ball started left and curved back. I probably overdid it because I was trying to emphasize a point. What I know is that off the same square stance, draw spin created that, same stance, fade spin created that. Okay? The danger is people video leg action and they get their pupils to copy the leg action. It's not going to work. Better to understand the ball flight, and as you change the ball flight, your leg action will obey the necessity. That's the catchphrase. Necessity is the mother of invention. So when you learn to hit a certain type of shot, your legs improvise the appropriate activity. Sometimes they're slow, sometimes they're quick. It all depends upon the choice of shot and the execution.